Everyone, Zeddy here again today with a brand new video, and Darkmoon Faire has been out for about a week, and I feel it's finally time for me to give you my evaluation of what the 5 best decks in both Standard and Wild are. I'll be doing the Wild video tomorrow. We're going to start with Standard today, so if you want to find out what the best Wild decks are, make sure you hit that sub button, get the notification bell going, all that stuff, so you get notified when that goes live tomorrow. But we're going to start off with Standard today. And Darkmoon Faire, for the most part, hasn't had the biggest impact in terms of creating new archetypes. There's a couple here and there, but overall, there's been a lot of good cards added to a lot of good decks. And we're going to highlight a bunch of that. So we're going to go over the 5 best Standard decks today, although I have 2 honorable mentions, so really 7, but I have it listed as 5 because reasons. Anyways, let's take a look at the best 5 or 7 Standard decks for Darkmoon Faire. So starting off at number 5, we have Revolve Shaman or Evolve Shaman. Yeah, there's been a bunch of new Shaman cards. This is basically kind of a new archetype that's popped up. There was an Evolve Shaman before, but this has a lot of new cards in it. And it's all built around, you have Revolve, you have your tutor now, your tutor for your weapon in AAECAaIHBrIC Custodian, helps you draw your Bog Spine Knuckles, and you try and get Desert Hare Revolve, get 3/3 drops, or found like Desert Hare and Mogu Fleshaper, and then swing with your weapon and get a bunch of stuff. This deck is not higher on the list. It started off really strong the first couple days of the expansion, but it's kind of popped up more as like a high roll aggro deck. It's not the most consistent. Again, you don't have the most draw in this deck. You have AAECAaIHBrIC Custodian. That's about it. But yeah, it's a new archetype. I wanted to highlight it. I think its power level will fall off as more refined decks pop up in the meta. But if you're looking for a Shaman deck that can definitely cheese some victories, Revolve Shaman is the way to go. At number 4, I wanted to highlight Highlander Priest. This is a list I grabbed from Ray C. Got like top 20 legend with it. And you can see there's a myriad of new cards in there. We got Yogg, you can spin the wheel. You got Gahun the Blood God, gives you some card draw. We've got Palm Reading, which is just an incredibly good spell. It discovers a spell, gives you flexibility. We got Fairground Fool. And we have Insight, which lets you draw out a minion from your deck and potentially mana cheat it. But overall, it's, Highlander Priest, you have Zephrys, you have your value in Raise Dead and Wand Maker and Cobalt Spellkin, all that kind of stuff. You got your infinite value in Galakrond, and yeah, Priest is not the most strong in the meta right now, but I feel like a lot of people just are really greedy with it, building kind of bad lists, not playing it well, and Highlander Priest has definitely seen a lot of success, at least at higher legend ladder for a lot of players. So if you're looking for that Priest deck where you just want to outvalue your opponent and play some Highlander cards, yeah, you can't really go wrong with Highlander Priest. Plus, it's got Yogg. How bad could it be? Next on the list, we have a deck that arguably could be the best deck in the meta, potentially, but it's a very hard deck to play. And this is ETC OTK Warrior. So Deaddraw, I believe, got rank 1 legend on NA and EU with this deck, and it's all built around the ETC OTK combo, which is you slam ETC down, you pin Flingerham, you Bloodsworn, so you get a copy of him, and then you basically broomstick, give everything rush, and you double up on all the damage dealt to the face. And it's a pretty flexible or pretty ridiculous OTK. But you also have like an alternate win condition in here. You have Rattlegore. You can copy Rattlegore depending on the matchup. If ETC's not working out, well, Rattlegore can get you. And you have your whole Control Warrior shell, like Risky Skipper, Armorsmith, Brawl, all that good stuff. We got Bulwark in here for some stall, got Galakrond for some reach, and this deck's just very hard to play, especially optimally. So if you're looking for a deck that you can really just, buckle down, try and learn, and you happen to open up ETC as your free legendary, and you got most of these cards, you might want to give it a go, but be warned, it's a steep learning curve with this deck, and definitely not the easiest one to navigate. Number 2 on the list, we have Secret Rogue. This deck is not a heck of a lot different than what we saw prior to the expansion release. McBanterFace recently got rank 1 legend on NA with it. And basically, yeah, it's the same old secret questings. You got your Edwin, you have all your Secret Generation and Hanar, Blackjack, Stunner. But the main thing that's been added is Foxy, Fraud, and Swindle. And this just gives you a lot more flexibility, a lot more draw. I mean, you could theoretically play Edwin Van Cleef on turn 1 if you have the coin, where you can like coin Foxy Fraud, Shadow Step, Foxy Fraud, Edwin. You can look at turn 1, 10-10. But of course, you got your Secret Passage draw through your deck, and because you have so much draw with double Secret Passage, with double Swindle, Zephrys is thrown in here. Your Zephrys can become active later in the game, giving you a bit more of a win condition, and you could Shadow Step it, all that crazy stuff. Yeah, Secret Rogue, really good, can do a lot of good stuff, and I mean, It's a rank 1 legend deck. How bad can it be? And if you already have Secret Rogue from the prior set, you don't have the budget to really craft much other stuff, this is a good way to go, because, I mean, I don't think Swindle or Foxy Fraud are particularly expensive, so this might be a better budgetish option if you already have a lot of these cards. Our 2 honorable mentions before we get to the number 1 best deck. We have Highlander Hunter. It's doing really well in the HS replay meta, top 1000 legend. I don't see a lot of it on the ladder, but the numbers, it's funny, even last expansion, its numbers were always great, but people weren't really playing it. And, you know, it's Highlander Hunter. It's the same kind of deal. You got your brand, you got Polkelt, and you got Zephyrus, and basically, you know, you want to get that curve, that early game curve. It's still aggressive, but you have more of the secret build here, right? We got Petting Zoo, we have the new secret Open the Cages, so there's a couple of new cards in here, and yeah, it's just doing pretty well. You can cheat out a secret as well with Inconspicuous Rider, and, you know, smork it up, play brand, kill people, punish greed. Highlander Hunter could definitely be a good way to go. And the last honorable mention I'll throw out there is Broom Paladin. And Broom Paladin is relatively the same as before the expansion came out, with a couple of notable additions. We have Yogg, because, I mean, you cast so many Librams, you might as well throw Yogg in there, spin the wheel. If you're behind, you never know, might bail you out. We also have Lothraxion the Redeemed, giving your recruits Divine Shield, making them stickier, helping your Librams out. And you also throw an Air Raid for a little additional synergy. But overall, it's the same deck as before. You know, you want to discount your Librams, do a lot of damage with Penflinger, heal up with Libram of Hope, all that good stuff. Deck's very good. And again, another decent option if you're low on resources, especially with this great Battle Pass system. You're probably low on resources. There's not a heck of a lot you need to throw into this deck other than Yogg. And if you don't have Yogg, you can definitely get away without it. And the number 1 best standard deck so far in Darkmoon Faire is a big shocker to pretty much nobody, and that is Soul Fragment Demon Hunter. It was basically the best deck going into this expansion, and it got even better. The main additions being Il'gynoth, of course, the legendary 4-mana 2/6, your lifesteal effects go face instead, basically they deal damage, and Bladed Lady. It's effectively a 1-mana 6/6 with Rush as long as you have 6 attack, and with the new card Relentless Pursuit, it's really not that difficult. You Relentless Pursuit, you Chaos Strike, or Twin Slicer, you play Marrow Slicer, and then you have a 6/6 with Rush, and of course you have all the same old Soul Fragment burn stuff, Blade Dance, Shard Shatter Mystic, all that crazy stuff. So if you still have your Soul Fragment DH, give it a go. It's ridiculously good. If you don't have Il'gynoth, it probably can get away without it. Bladed Lady, I believe, is just a rare. So if you have this deck, you basically already have it ready to go. You can dominate the ladder, do a lot of good stuff. And there's a good chance you'll get some dust back, because I think if we're going to have a balance change in the near future, which we usually see within a month of an expansion coming out, I have a good feeling Soul Fragment Demon Hunter will be caught in the crossfires, which will probably make a lot of people happy. And I like playing this deck, but it definitely probably could get toned down a little bit. So that's the best standard deck so far during Darkmoon Faire. Make sure to tune in tomorrow for the wild lists. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Have a great day. Stay salty, my friends.